Trump's tariffs are a good thing. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. I'm going to show you how much leverage Trump has here and why it's going to, man, it's going to change the world, man. I'm a big fan. But tariffs always lead to inflation. I can't argue this because it's silly at this stage. We have the McKinley Tariff Act in 1890. We have a couple other tariffs in the 1890s as well. We had mass depression in the 1890s. Did tariffs cause that? Maybe, but they certainly didn't lead to inflation. But the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act in 1930, did tariffs cause that mass depression in the 1930s? Maybe, but it certainly didn't cause inflation. So this idea that tariffs are always and everywhere inflationary, it's the whole thing silly. Now you can say, well, if they put a tariff on one product, that could be inflationary for that product specifically. And maybe. I'll show you some evidence that's maybe not so much. But at the end of the day, Trump isn't talking about one product tariff. He's talking about 25% to Canada, Mexico, and even more, I think, to China, whatever it is. I'm freaking, dude, I'm all about it. So let me show you something here. We're going to go into, let me show you this real quick. Mexico exports $452 billion to the United States. All right, that's in the last we saw is 2022. Mexico exports $452 billion to the U.S. Check this out. Nominal exchange rates, Mexico's economy is $1.2 billion or trillion dollars, 1.2 trillion. So basically 25% of Mexico's growth, GDP, is attributed essentially to exports to the United States. Check this out. You think it just stops there? No. 84% of all Mexico exports go to where? The US of A. Canada gets 2.9%, China gets 2%, 84% goes to the United States. Right. Who do you think's got the leverage there? Who do you think? Oh, by the way, check this out. Of Canada, $439 billion they export to the United States. $439 billion. All right. 77% of their exports go to the U.S. 77%. So let's see the look of the size of a Canadian economy. 2.1 trillion. 2.1 trillion. So if we come back here, I'm going to show you something. Again, $440 billion of exports. The Canadian economy is right here is $2.117 trillion. So whatever that is, 15% or something like that of the total Canadian economy is attributed to exports to the U.S. And they make 77% of all exports go to the United States. Huh. What does that tell you? That Trump's got all the leverage, dude. All the leverage. In fact, I thought this was pretty interesting too. I'm going to show you here. If we go to right here, I think is what it was. Yeah. Canadian exports mineral fuels, oils, distillation products, and right here, I don't even know what distillation products is. Vehicles. Isn't that interesting? The second largest export is vehicles. Machinery, nuclear reactors, boilers is $33 billion. I mean, that's a lot of that's a lot of money there. But at the end of the day, the United States economy is what? $23 trillion. So by machinery, nuclear reactors, and boilers are $33 billion. Our economy is $23 trillion. I hope that sinks in for just a second. Let's see what Mexico exports to the United States. This could be vehicles by and large. Oh yeah, look at that. Vehicles right there. Right there. $112 billion of vehicles are being exported to the United States. Yeah, Mexico. They also export machinery, nuclear reactors, and boilers too of $91 billion. Interesting. So the U.S. exports $323 billion to Mexico. So Mexico and Canada export more than we export to them by a factor of 25%. Not a factor of 25, but 25%. And maybe even 33%, depending on how you look at it. And our economy is $23 trillion. Theirs, respectively, is what, 1.6, 1.7 to 2.1, 2.2. What do we export to Mexico? Electronic equipment, $51 billion. We're still exporting machinery, nuclear reactors, and boilers almost as much as more than they export to us. Isn't that interesting? Minerals, fuel, oils, distillation products, very interesting. Export to Canada, less than they export to us. We only export $53 billion to Canada, and they export more than that to us. Again, we're exporting $57 billion of vehicles other than railway, tramway. Again, the same kind of things here. Very interesting. Very interesting. We export $148 billion products to China. All mineral fuels, oil, and all that stuff. Same kind of thing. How much does China export to us? 15% of their exports come to the United States. We're their largest trading partner by far. 15%. We export 7.5% to China, 18% to Canada, 16% to Mexico. Interesting. So China exports twice as much as to us as we do to them, relative to our overall exports, by the way. Canada exports a hell of a lot more than we do to them. In fact, we can see right here. I showed you this. No one else comes close to what they export to us. Now in China, it's 22 billion. It's a drop in a bucket. Germany, 5 billion. Dude, who do you think needs who? Who do you think needs who, man? Trump's got all the leverage when it comes to tariffs. You don't start policing up your borders, keeping your illegals out of here. You're just even illegals. We want a chance to freaking decide who comes to our country. Fentanyl, all that crap. You start letting you keep coming in. No, American first is here, baby, and Trump's gonna freaking dominate. But inflation, okay. What do you think's gonna happen? You think China's just say, when we're their largest trade partner by far, and they need us a hell of a lot more than we need them? It's good to be king, man. As much as people want to bash the U.S., our kids are stupid. And I was just reading that, just reading the book chapter Isaiah, book of Isaiah. Isaiah talks about the exact same thing back then. This is before Jesus' time. I think it's like 400 BC or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't have my Bible right here. Dude, Aristotle said the same thing. All these guys, Socrates, Aristotle, whoever, one of those guys. Our youth are stupid. Blah, blah, blah. It's always the same thing. We're still the only game in town, dude. U.S. is still crushing. They need us more than we need them. And as such, they better do what the hell we say. We're not going to attack them. So, you're not going to get our natural gas. I wonder if we say what our main exports are. Because Biden put on the, hold on a second. Here, our biggest exports, mineral, fuels, oils, distillation products. And wait till Trump gets it rolling back up. And like Europe is dead into rights because they don't have any natural gas. They're banning fracking. They're all going green. So they're just going to freeze to death. And then they're saying, we don't want Russia's natural gas. You gotta get it from someplace, baby, because your green stuff ain't gonna work. So we're gonna say, okay, we're gonna give it to the United States. We're gonna get it from the United States. Yeah. If you want to heat at night, you don't want Russia. Guess what, baby? Dude, it's good to be king, man. Trump gets it. You better start paying attention. I love it, dude. And now he's got 4 years under his belt of these guys freaking talking smack. Lay the smack down, Trumpster. All right, God bless. Love your thoughts. Don't forget to paw the like button.